Radha Krishna, it just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Almost like it's one single word. And for so many, it is. It's the universal symbol of divine love, a love that feels, absolutely timeless. But here's the thing. Their story has this huge, fascinating paradox right at its heart.
And that's the big question, isn't it? If they are the absolute epitome of perfect love, then why didn't they ever get married? It's a question that people have been asking for centuries. So today, in this explainer, we're going to dive in and explore the answers.
Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to go back and look at their journey together. It's a story that starts with this incredibly deep bond, but it was always headed for a physical separation. And that separation, it's the key to understanding everything. So picture this. They grew up together in Brindavan. Their childhood is just full of music, dancing, and this amazing unspoken connection. But destiny had other plans. Krishna had to leave. He had this whole divine duty to fulfill, fighting enemies, becoming a king. And he did. He became a great ruler, and he even married others, like Rukmini and Satyabhama. But Radha, she stayed behind in Brindavan. For her, he was everything. Her devotion, her love, it was all for him, unwavering, even though he never came back. And right there, in that separation and that unwavering devotion, is where we find the deepest, most spiritual answer to our question. It's the reason a wedding wasn't just, something they skipped. It was actually impossible. Get this. The story goes that as Krishna was about to leave Vrindavan for good, a completely heartbroken Radha begged him, "Marry me, take me with you." But his answer? Wow. It wasn't a no. It was a complete revelation. He looked at her and asked, "How can I marry myself?" And that question leads us to this really core spiritual idea called Ekatma Swarupam. What does that mean? Well, it literally means one soul in two bodies. So from this perspective, Radha and Krishna weren't two different people who fell in love. Nope. They were two different bodies sharing the exact same soul. So think about it. The whole point of a marriage ceremony is to unite two separate souls, right? But for them, that union was already there. At the deepest level, they were already one. So a wedding, which is basically a social contract, it becomes completely unnecessary when a soul is trying to marry itself. Theirs was a spiritual union, not a social one. Okay, but like with all great epic stories, there's usually more than one version, right? So besides that really deep spiritual explanation, there's another narrative out there. And this one points to more worldly and societal reasons why they never got married. So you've got these two very different ideas sitting side by side. On the one hand, you have the profound spiritual truth. They're one soul, so marriage is a moot point. But then you have this other story, one that's all about social rules. This version suggests that Radha was actually already married to someone else. And because of that, marrying Krishna would have been a huge social taboo, something totally forbidden. So, two different stories, but they both end up in the same place. No wedding. Now here's where it gets really beautiful. Even though they never married, Krishna gave Radha this incredible honor. It was a tribute that basically cemented her place as supreme, forever, all because of her unparalleled love and devotion. Just think about how we say their names. You'd think, logically, it would be Krishna Radha, right? I mean, he's the primary deity. But that's not how we say it, ever. And that is Krishna's gift to her. He made a promise, a boon, that because of her pure, perfect devotion, her name would always come before his, for all of eternity. Just let that sink in for a second. Her love was so powerful, her name comes before the divine itself. So this is way more than just a naming role. It's packed with meaning. It's the ultimate tribute to her loyalty. And it's why we have Radha Krishna temples, not the other way around. But here's something really cool. If you chant her name over and over, Radha, 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 it starts to sound like Dara. And Dara in Sanskrit means flow. It's the perfect symbol for that constant, unending stream of love and devotion from the soul to the divine. So when you put all of these pieces together, you start to see that their relationship was never, ever meant to be defined by our earthly rules or by human ceremonies. Their love story wasn't really a blueprint for human marriage. No, its purpose was to show us the highest form of love there is, bhakti, which is just pure, unadulterated devotion. What their story really teaches us is that the greatest connection you can have is when your own soul completely merges with the divine. It's a kind of love that doesn't need a certificate or a ceremony to prove it's real. And that leaves us with one last thing to chew on, doesn't it? Perhaps we've been asking the wrong question all along. What if the greatest love stories aren't about two people finding each other and becoming one, but about them realizing they were never really two separate people to begin with?